Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you hear something in the background, we are watching a dog. So that's just him. His name is Tim. But um, this is that epileptic human, aka moi. And as you can tell by this video, I am sitting in front of my bookshelf. Yeah, I'm sitting in front of my bookshelf. So in this video, I kind of want to show you guys all of the books I have, and then we can count them together. And at the end, I'm gonna tell you guys how many books I actually have. And this is only on my bookshelf because I have books on my TBR card that I am gonna read this year. So this is just on my bookshelf. So I think we can start this side and then just do this and this after. So I will now get all of my spread edges books because those are on the top and those are the ones you can't see. So I got them now, and I want to start with the ones I have read. I finally finished Fourth Ring this year. And me and fantasy don't really go in hand. But I finished that, and this is a black special editions. I want more special editions books though. And then we have the Glasgow. This is really good. This is the very first book I cried to. And the last one I have read that I have in special edition is Hello by Selena Myers, and I gave this a 6 stars, by the way. I'm not gonna really say what I gave them, but if they go out of chart, I will say, or if I remember. But this is really good. I read this in 2 days, and I really recommend it. Then we have the books I haven't read. So we have 7-Year Itch from Amy Doss. It has these cute spread edges. I also have the first book, but that's on my TBR cart. Then we have The Last Murder at the End of the World. I have heard this, and I have been recommended not to read the prologue, and usually I don't read the prologue when it's murder anyway. Just because when I did, it confused me. So. And then, of course, we have Sunrise on the Reaping. This movie is coming out this year, so I need to start reading the Hunger Games series. So I will. And then we have the last 3 books I have of special editions. 2 I got in my queer package. So these are queer books, but I just don't have them on my queer shelf. I am gonna put them on my queer shelf though. It's Uncharted, The Pirate and Her Princess Book 1, Cute Spread Edges, and then Royal Rescue, cute spread edges there as well. And then we have One of Us is Lying. A geek, a jock, a criminal, a princess, a murderer. Who would you believe? So I have had this on my shelf for like months now, and I have still not read it. So that was all my special edition books. And I love special edition books. is it just me, or I like to read my books like paperback, but I love to have my books in hardcover. I feel like that's just me. Then we literally have my Anna Huang shelf. It's right up here. The only Anna Huang book I read is Twisted Lies, but I am gonna read it again. It looks a little fucked because I have had it for years. Then we have Twisted Hate and Twisted Games, and Twisted Lies is on my TBR cart. It's my next read. So, yeah. But I put them in like this. What? See. Like that, because then I know which book I have read. I put the book I read with the text and stuff on that you can see I have read it. And the ones I haven't read, I am putting it to the sides up like this. So we have the Striker and the Defender. I have 2 books of the Defender and it's pissing me off. Then we have this hole here. We have King of Pride, King of Greed, King of Sloth, and King of Envy, and King of well, the first book is there because I'm gonna read that as well. But you know, yeah, that's what I am gonna do. And then we have her first series. I don't even know if I'm gonna read this, but we have If We Ever Meet Again. If the Sun Never Sets. If Love Had a Price. And If You Were Perfect. I don't know if I'm going to read it because I like books with 2 POVs, at least in the romance books, and these are romance books. And I have heard that 2 of these books are of one couple. So I don't even know if I'm going to read it, but we'll see. But Anna Huang is coming out with new books this year, and she's coming out with one literally next week when I'm filming that. So literally when I'm filming while taking a break. But that's the 28th of April. She's coming out with that, and I'm gonna buy it for sure. I have figured out while I'm doing this, I'm gonna reorganize my bookshelf because I am reading both romance and thriller, mostly thriller though, and the books are like in fucked places. Like these are romance and these are thriller, and I want them in one place. So now we're gonna go down here where I have my Elsa Silver books. So I have a book box with all of her golden Gold Rush Ranch series. It's only one I haven't read, that's why it's this way. Then we have her Chestnut Spring series. I have the full plot. Book 1 and 2 are on my TBR cart. And then I have read her Rose Hill series. So I have all of that as well. And she is coming out with a new series in May. And I am kinda excited about that. But since I'm organizing, well, yes. I want to kind of do all of the romance, put them here, and while I am doing all of the thrillers, set them back up. So now, since that's thriller, down at the bottom, I need to start here. These two and those. So I want to start at the bottom. So, um, yeah. Two Can Play. I have read this. This was good. The first ever Ellie Hazelwood book I read. I read this. I cried to it. It's about a guy that's from Norway that moves to the US, and then because of his father's job, he needs to move back to Norway and leave his girlfriend. So, and then we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Okay. Then all the books I haven't read. Throttled by Lauren Asher. The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. Protecting What's Mine by Lucy Score. I started reading this and then I just, no, this is not my thing. Maybe I can listen to it on audio. Maybe it's my thing then. I don't know. With a little luck. And then we have Terms and Conditions of by Lauren Asher, and I have the fine print. It's on my TBR cart. So, yes. And two others I haven't read. It's a poetry book. I love poetry, if you don't know. And then we have Viciously Yours. This is really a fantasy, but I don't have any place to put my fantasy because I don't have any fantasy books. So I just put it in there. I think this is like rom-com in like fantasy book kind of thing. And then the books I have read. Playing Hard to Get. I have not gotten the second book of the series yet, but this was good. The very first Monica Murphy book I read. The fuck is happening with my hair? So I really recommend this. Then we have Things We Don't Talk About. This is a poetry book. Yes, I don't need to say anything more. This was good. Sad though. And then we have this. I ruined this box a little, but this is from Laura Nolan, and it's If He Had Been With Me, and If Only I Had Told Her. This is a heartbreaking duologue. So if you want to read it, just know that this is sad. Romantic, but sad. And it didn't need to be that many POVs in book 2. It was like 4, I think. 3 or 4. And that's not my thing, to be honest. I have seen that I have many romance, but this infuriated me. It starts with us. It infuriated me. I didn't like the MMC. The FMC is good though. She is in both books, and so is the MFC in this one. Ryle. Of course, I like Atlas. Yep. But Ryle infuriated me. Then we have 2 books from Rebecca Jensack. I don't know if I say your name correctly, and I don't care. But sorry if I say it wrong. Wild About You and Wild Ever After. This is in a series. But I don't know if I can read it without starting from the beginning of the series. That's why I haven't put them up yet. 1,000 Broken Pieces. This is the second book from this. This is a duologue. I have not gotten through this just because I know it's gonna be heartbreaking. It's literally named 1,000 Broken Pieces. Yeah. And then we have Throttle Me by Shelley Bliss. Why does people need to name their books the exact same thing? Yeah, why? That is one thing that annoys me because this is called Throttle Me and this is called Throttled. It's almost the same. I will now take all of those down and put all of these back. As you can tell right now, it's really empty here. Really empty. So I am gonna just put all of the books so it's empty on these 4. Empty here. I want to start with putting my Richard Osman books here. So that's which books I'm gonna show you guys now. It's a Spread Edge. I put it as Richard Osman because it's Richard Osman. It's a book 2. So I have read book 1, 2, 3. So book 1. Book 2 is called The Man Who Died Twice, aka book 1 is called The Thursday Murder Club. That's what the series is called. And book 3 is called The Bullet That Missed. So I need to put you guys in another place. So those are gonna be there. But since I have a big one, and this is the last book in the series, I am gonna put book 4 on top of them and book 5 on the bottom. But book 4 is called The Last Devil to Die. And then book 5 is called The Impossible Fortune. So I just do this. And then that on top there. And then we have another one. It's his new series. Another book of this is coming out this year. I'm gonna buy it, of course. It's called We Solve Murders. A cunning killer, a race around the world, an iconic new detective team is born. So I'm like kinda excited to figure out what that series is about. Then I want to show you guys all my Frida McFadden books because those are gonna be on a shelf for themselves, I think. So I need to find all of them. It's not that many as I thought it would be, to be honest. So we can start from the top. I got the 3rd book in the Housemaid series, The Housemaid is Watching, because I have read or listened to book 1 and 2. The Housemaid, I watched this at the cinema as well, and then The Housemaid Secrets. So I needed a 3rd one. Now I just need a little one, but the little one wasn't in my bookstore, so. What the frick was that? And then we have The Locked Door. I read this. This was good. And then we have The Surrogate Mother. Not read this, but I'm gonna read this very soon. I feel like it's not really that thriller season anymore. And then we have The Boyfriend. I have read this. This was okay. And then the last two, I have read them as well. Do Not Disturb and The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. This is the very first book I read of her. And I have more books of hers on my TBR cart. So, yeah, I'm gonna start there. Yes, this is the end, I think. And then I want to show you guys my true crime books, because if you don't know me, I love true crime. We have first The Girl in the Leaves. Not read this. This is really hard to read, so I'm gonna listen to this on Audible. Then The Cell Next Door by Dylan Tolman. I recommend you reading this if you kinda want to know what he thinks of Chris Watts. Chris Watts is a person that unalived his whole family. So I recommend you reading this. I read this a while ago, and it was good. Then we have Haunted Dolls, of course, many Haunted Dolls, and then Haunted Hotels, many Haunted Hotels, most in the US though. And we have more. Just wait. We have a book about Mary Flora Bell, a child unaliver. Then we have a book on Harold Shipman, the true story of Britain's most notorious serial killer. And then, of course, You Think You Know Me, about her master and the horror at Fox Hollow Farm. So we have some true crime books, and to be honest, these are gonna get their own shelf, and then the rest are just gonna be on one shelf. So we are gonna do the books I have read first. Five Survive. I listened to this on Audible because I had tried to read it for in paper, because I have one in paper as well. But I got through it and I just no, wasn't like for me at that time. And then we have Scarlet Town. I need to read this again. I listened to it on audio, but only because this is the third book of a series, and I didn't know that when I read it. So maybe I liked this before, but I felt like it was just about dead bodies, so wasn't really my thing. And then we have Murder at the Cafe. I love this book. Not my favorite, but it wasn't worse either. This was good. And I want to read like more books like this that are in different countries, not only the US but other countries. Like this was in Japan, I think. I think this was in Japan. Yeah, translated from Japan. So this was good book. And then the last book I read of these that are here are Too Old for This. I read this exactly when I got it, and this was good. It's an old woman that kills people. Well, it's too old for this, and she has a hammer, so that explains it. She doesn't want people to know her story, so well, technically, doesn't want people to know her story, but I recommend you reading that because that was good. And I also read this, Love in the Time of Serial Killers. This is also good. This is a while since I read it though. And then we have Gone Too Far by Natalie D. Richards. I recommend you reading this as well. I haven't read it yet, but this really sounds interesting. Keeping secrets ruined her. The truth might kill her. So that was really good as well. Well, I haven't read it, but then I got this in a blind date with a book. Haven't read it yet, but it's called Before I Go to Sleep, and I really don't want to read it before I go to sleep. So then we have Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I have really wanted to read some Riley Sager's books, but haven't gotten that far yet. Then the two next books I haven't read. The Silent Patients by Alex Michaelides. Sorry if I butcher your name. I wanted to read this book. I tried to figure out more books from this person, but I can't. I need to do more research though. Then we have Leather and Lark. I just finished Butchered and Blackbird. That was good, so yeah. My brother came home. Okay, so I want to show you guys my holiday books. We have Christmas Fling and Christmas Eve Love Story. And then we have my LGBTQ books, My Dark Jock, Heated Rivalry, and Game Changer. I can talk. I want to read those. Just don't have the time. I want to read them in Pride month, and that's in June, in 2 months. So, and the ones I'm going to show you now, I bought this month. Well, I got this last month in Her Own League. I need to get the Windy City series though, but I kind of had a book buying ban with me, so technically I can only get 2 books that's not from an author I have now. I changed that rule. So yeah, only 2 books that's not from an author I already have, and I chose Goodbye Days, a novella. Can a text message destroy your life? I thought this was very interesting, and it's big letters, so that's good. And the other I said I wanted more books like these, and I chose Comedia Mortal by Wayne Holloway. So yeah, a panoramic radical tale. I thought this was interesting, so I bought that. And then I bought Woman Down by Colleen Hoover. Listen, I don't like this cover. I don't. Literally flashy, but it wasn't any other books I wanted to buy, so that's what I bought. Now it's like the last books is fantasy and dark romance. We can start with the ritual by Chantal Testier. I am gonna get through this. I don't know if I'm gonna continue the series though. Then we have Promise Me Not by Megan Brady, and Now You're Mine by Morgan Bridges. I have book 1 in this as well. Somewhere there. No, somewhere. Then we have 3 books in the series Pretty by Gianna E. Mann. It's Pretty Dirty Secrets, Pretty Filthy Lies, and Pretty Broken Girl. So I will put them. Yeah. And then we have this. The last books, Emily McIntyre. Hooked, Crossed, Twisted, um, Scarred, and Wretched. And then the 2 last books are Filthy Rich Vampire and The Darkness Within Us. This is a series, and I don't think maybe this can be the first book, but I'm waiting. So if you like this long video about the books I have on my bookshelf, click on the subscribe button and subscribe and comment what video you want next. And I will see you in my next one. Peace.